Warning, this podcast, website, and associated social media accounts are intended for audiences of legal drinking age. We do not advocate overconsumption or the abuse of alcohol. Never drink and drive, drink responsibly. And please remember to always take what we say with a grain of salt. After all, we are just some dudes with some brews.
We started out by crawling out from under the thumb of the man. The lovers of God with dad bods, just trying to feed our fam. Go sit right there and grab a beer, you know just what to do. Throw it back, get hammered, and listen to dudes and brews. So man, weather's been crazy, and I've come to realize that here in Texas at least, we're not prepared for anything, especially when it comes to the bad weather. So the way I found that they prepared is they just shut stuff down, which I thought was stupid because my kids didn't go to school. They went to school today, but they didn't go to school yesterday. Did you venture outside of the house or anything?
I did venture out, but I mean, it wasn't that bad. But the way they prepare is some parking lots they'll throw some salt down.
Well, yeah, I mean, I saw the trucks driving, like, I think it was Wednesday. I took the kids to school. Roads were fine. There were some icy bridges. I mean, I drove across a bridge, and I could tell I didn't have traction. But I'm not an idiot. I just let off the gas and keep the wheel straight until I'm off the bridge, and then I'm fine. I'm back onto dry land. But I'll tell you, on the way home from just dropping the kids off at school. So... dropping them off at school, coming back home, I didn't see the wrecks happen, but I saw 4 different wrecks.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, really?
After every overpass, you see cars in the ditch.
Yeah, one of them was flipped upside down, and I go, are you kidding me?
Wow. Did you hear about in Fort Worth? Dude,
I heard 70 to 100 car pileup.
That was national news. I mean, dude, it's so awful. Charity was actually telling me about some stories that she was reading about a guy who was on the opposite side of the highway, and he had a fender bender, and then he got out of his car and was like, one of the first wrecks, and right then he saw the first wreck and then all the wrecks.
Yeah, I saw videos of like the semi come in and hit and dive, and I'm like, one, if the roads are icy, yes, I think it's smart to drive slow. Okay, I do understand that semis, it's very difficult for them to stop. But I feel like the cities need to prepare for things better, because when I was in Denver, way worse weather, and the city just prepared for it better, so there were less like accidents and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about Texas roads. Also, I wonder, are the roads built with different asphalt or concrete? Because you do go to these cold states and people just go through with it. In Texas, the slightest bit of ice, everybody's wrecked everywhere.
I think it's a matter of preparing for things. Because, I remember when I was in Denver, people would put sandbags in the back of their trucks to try to keep the weight on the back of their trucks. I mean, if it's just a bed back there, there's hardly any weight. Yeah. And it's a back-wheel drive, so instead of your tires just spinning, you want traction, so you put weight in it. People would put sandbags in it. So, I've seen things like that for people to prepare. I need to ask Justin. Because Justin's in Nebraska. He sent me a picture on Wednesday. It was negative 18.
That's the kind of when you throw water in the air and it just turns into an ice.
Dude, I talked to him yesterday, and he said literally, he goes, I got to get all dressed up. Snow pants, snow jacket, gloves. Because they have like a community mailbox. Where like all their mailboxes are. So he walks to the mailbox, not even a block away. The mailbox comes back. If he forgets to put on gloves, he comes back and his fingers are like almost numb. I'm like, that's stupid.
Gosh.
And
that's
he said,
Nebraska?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
He said it's not supposed to get above 0 for like the next week and a half.
Man.
Yeah.
I love the cold weather, but...
There's a point where it gets too cold.
We don't have the real cold. So it's safe to say I love the cold weather because I live in Texas.
Right. I was telling the kids that too, man. Like, they were like, I hate it. It's so cold. And I go, you don't know what cold is. You've never experienced cold. But I will say this. I did start up the fireplace. So I got that ready to go because one of the reasons why I like the cold weather is that warmth feeling. So like when you walk in or you cuddle up next to a fire, and that kind of like warmth that just just envelops your cold body. I love that. One thing that I like to do also when I'm cold that gives me that same feeling is drinking a real good stout.
Yes.
So you want to get one of them hitters, man?
Yep. And I agree with you because one of my favorite things is when it's freezing cold and I get in bed. And I love it even when the sheets are freezing and then I just start shivering and acting nuts. It's a weird thing. Maybe I shouldn't have went that much in detail.
No. But the thing is, it's the feeling after you're done shivering.
It's like I love it because I'm suffering.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
And then I get to come out the other side of it.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
It's almost like whenever you decide not to eat, or that you decide to eat healthy, and then you get that unhealthy meal. It's that greatest feeling. It's like I've been suffering. So
I got something else for you here, man.
All right.
Go ahead and grab this beer, and then we'll get into it.
I think these are cold enough.
Okay. All right. Anyway, so what I was going to say when you were talking about the diets and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was on a diet for a little while.
Oh yeah.
You can say I was on a diet for a little while.
You decided to man up and pass up.
Oh my gosh, you have no idea. So the thing is, man, I was doing a keto diet, and it was great and all, but it's difficult to maintain. And it's because of things I have to do more research than I'm willing to do.
Ooh.
I'm just not willing to do as much research as is required for a diet.
Yeah, I mean, keto, you're getting too fancy. You might as well be one of those, not a vegetarian, but what are those other,
Like a vegan?
Vegan. You might as well be vegan whenever you start getting into keto stuff.
Vegan is easy.
Well, you gotta have fake everything.
Vegan's
fake eggs.
Well, I mean, so I dated a vegan for a little while, and we had some of the greatest food. I had a lot of fun food.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say this, that just because you're eating vegan does not mean you're eating healthy.
No, it just means that you're doing what you feel is right for animals, right?
Not necessarily. Some the girl that I was dating didn't have a problem with me eating meat. She was vegan specifically for health reasons.
There's one of them where you can't have, what's that stuff that's in flour that's fake?
Like wheat? So you're saying gluten, like a gluten intolerance?
Yes. Is that it? Is
like celiac? Like celiac disease, I think is one of them?
Some people, they can't have the gluten crap because flour is not the normal flour. We've come so far from what flour used to be to what flour is today.
Oh, right.
And that's why it's so unhealthy.
Yeah.
And in America, we're on such a heavy flour diet. So I think that's why people, dietary reasons, go vegan, right?
Possibly.
Because of the flour?
Well, I mean, because you can still have flour. You just can't have any basically animal byproducts. So
okay.
No milk, so no dairy, no eggs, no fish.
But isn't the idea behind it that these things come from an animal? Even though milk, you didn't kill an animal for the milk, it came from an animal, so you're thinking it's abuse. That's
the way some people think about it.
Okay.
And those people, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, dude. They're crazy.
Yeah.
They're crazy. One of the things that she pointed out to me, which I never thought about this until she said it, is humans are one of the only animals, if not the only animal, that eats or drinks another animal's milk.
Right.
So, cows don't go up to pigs and drink pig milk.
No.
Animals don't go up to random species of animals and drink their milk. So why would humans?
Because we're different. Why do we have to cook the meat? Why don't we just eat it raw? Well, because we're humans. We're different. We're not animals. So you can't compare us to an animal, because then you have to compare us across the board and say, why do we wear clothes? You know what I mean? If you're isolating milk,
it's because of sin. That's why we wear clothes.
If you're isolating milk though and saying oh well, there must be something weird here because no other animals are drinking other milk. Well, it's no other animals are talking to each other either, engaging in or doing podcasts. You know what I mean? So you took a drink. I've been waiting because I smelled it, and it smells really like a true barrel-aged beer. You want to tell us a little bit about what we got here?
Yeah, so I'm going to pull it up. So we got the Boulevard This is the bourbon barrel aged Imperial Porter. So it's
the porter.
Not even a stout.
Ooh. That taste.
The first drink is good. I have no problems with it. I'm gonna pull it up here on Untappd and get some more information about it though.
Yeah. I'm gonna kind of start going through.
I really get bourbon out of it.
Me too. I smelled the bourbon. It smells like liquor. Ooh. That's why I waited to taste it. I'm gonna kind of go through a checklist though, and be a little bit more systematic with my beer.
What do you mean?
Rating. Well, instead of just going through and just freestyling and throwing stuff out there, I want to maybe start with appearance, go through some aroma, some flavor.
Okay, so that's cool because this one actually, I wish I would have brought the box.
Okay.
Because the box goes through a lot of what you're talking about here. Let me see if I can find it real quick. If I can find a picture of it. Because this is a part of their tasting room series.
Mm-hmm. So just so we can go ahead and say this is Boulevard Brewing Company.
Yep.
Right there out of Kansas City, Missouri. My man Joe's finding the box.
Okay. So this is what it says here. It says, maybe.
Uh-oh. Zoomed in.
Okay. So it says, because they have the featuring, and this is the porter specifically. And then they give the flavor profile. So pouring the color of cocoa, the rich dark malt character is enhanced by brown sugar and lactose for a round velvet smoothiness, aged 18 months in oak.
Mm. Wow. So let's go ahead and let's just start getting into this one, man. This is the first release. So this is the first time they've ever done this barrel-aged Imperial Porter.
Yep.
I think it's my first barrel-aged porter.
It's for sure for me. I think I've only had stouts that have been barrel-aged.
And that barrel-aged, I think it's the barrel-aged and the porter together that makes it taste extra bourbony.
Possibly.
Because porter already kind of has this like bourbon-type taste. Ooh.
Yeah, and I like the information that they give here on Untappd. So it says, our brewers love sharing small batch experimental and wild innovations in the beer hall with our friends and neighbors. The Boulevard Barrel Aged Pack liberates two of their most beloved oak. Okay, so I need to go home and check because they may have had the stout in there with it. Now that I think about it, because I bought a 6-pack. The stout may be in there with it.
They have these are 6-packs?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm
surprised about that. I'm surprised it's not a 4.
I mean, this was a 6-pack for $20, but
that's
still.
Not bad.
But still, these are 12.5%.
Yeah, for a barrel-aged beer, 6 of them.
Yeah, but the way it reads it, because it did, even on this picture here, it gives the information for the stout.
Oh, you're right.
So it makes me wonder if 3 of them are the... So I may have some stouts at home. So We'll have to try that one of the day. But anyway, heavily roasted malt, base with huge additions of lactose. So I think this one's great. It says here that it aged exclusively in barrels from Heaven Hill Distillery. Pair with seared crispy pork belly with maple sweet potatoes, triple creme cheese, and s'mores. You know, that sounds like a meal that we need to have with this beer.
Right. All right, so when we look at it, I don't think we had the proper glassware. I think we probably should have had for sure a glass and not plastic.
Or like
when you have a fine aged beer like this.
Like something like a tulip or a sniper.
Yeah.
So it has the stem, you know what I'm talking
about? Yeah, we needed the stem. The color, though, it's really dark. Can't even see through it. It's really dark. I noticed, though, when I poured it, it didn't have much of a head on it, and it really didn't retain that head very much at all.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's not a stout, so, like, do porters really retain head? I don't drink that many porters, so I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Well, I want a little bit of some foam on these lips. so that's going to be a bit of a... I want a little bit more foam with this one. Also, I think maybe we should have cooled it a little bit longer. Set it outside in that cold weather.
I mean, that might not have been a bad idea. Yeah. It might have been colder outside than it is in that fridge.
Yeah. Aroma. First of all, what are your thoughts on the color?
I mean, it's darker than I typically think a porter is. It looks more like a stout, just like the color does. Now, the head retention, just like you mentioned, does tell me that it's not a stout. But, I think the color's great. I think it's great. The clarity's fine. I think it's good.
Mm-hmm. The aroma, what are your thoughts? It giving you that bourbon smell?
I really get bourbon right away. I get a little bit of oakiness. And then, that's the two distinct flavors I'm getting from the aroma.
Yeah, I agree.
Which makes me. I need to get my. The porter that I have at home. I need to get that one kegged. I should do that this weekend. Yeah. It's a bourbon maple oak porter.
Hiccups over there.
I do. No, dude, carbonation makes me burp a lot. I gotta hold it in every time I drink a beer.
I think it made me want to burp. It's not even that carbonated.
No, it's not. It's just 98% of the time I drink non-carbonated drinks.
Yeah.
So when I get a little bit of it, I guess my body rejects it.
I can't drink like Coca-Cola, soda, something like that.
Yeah.
Especially out of a fountain drink. I'll drink it and it'd be like...
It like burns your throat.
Yeah, I'm like, how did I like this when I was a kid?
You were, like me, addicted to sugar.
Yeah.
I'm a sugar addict. 100%. Yeah,
but I'm not a sugar addict.
My name is Joseph Gregory, and I'm addicted to sugar.
I'm not a sugar addict at all. I honestly rarely drink soda.
No, it's not soda. It's like snacks. Like anything that has sugar in it, be it like chips or cookies or pasta, that turns into sugar in my body. Carbs.
I do like pastas.
Like my body just craves carbs, which turns it into sugar. So that's why I say I'm a sugar addict.
I do like that, but I don't like sweets. But I do. Maybe I'm a sugar addict as well.
Maybe you're like a carb addict.
I just call myself a fat boy most of the time. I'm a fat boy, so I'm just fat boying it up.
Yeah.
Eating a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with them kind of just embracing having a dad bod. But I really like this beer, honestly. This is one of the better ones that we've had. And I think it's because of this one. You really, I don't know if it's the porter style and the kind of malt they use, but the bourbon comes through way more on this one. But I wonder if it also has to do with this one being 12.5%.
What's weird for me, man, is everything that it's supposed to be, it is. So barrel-aged porter's got that strong, you've got the high APV. It looks good, but I'm just not enjoying. It's just not one of my top beers.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think I'd ever drink one of these again. And it's not bad. It's just, I don't know. It's got that bourbon-y porter. Maybe I'm just not into barrel-aged porters.
Okay. For me, it's doing exactly what I wanted it to, and it's warming me up.
Yeah. It could be that beanie, too. It could be.
Maybe. But I think it's great. For me, I think I'm giving it a 4.5. It's up there for me.
This is where I feel bad splitting the difference here.
No, be honest with us, man.
Well, I feel like I'm going to have to give it a 2.5.
A 2.5, that low.
Yeah.
All right, so now you're going to have to, what about it is making you give it that low? Is it a little bit too bourbony?
Yeah,
if I want to use that word.
Yeah, what I'm smelling is what I'm tasting, and it's not very enjoyable. And it's got that flavor when you just kind of breathe through your mouth and you taste that flavor. It's just not an enjoyable.
Where it's got like a strong bite. When if you drink bourbon, you breathe out, kind of almost like you're breathing fire.
Mm-hmm. And it's hard, too, because I've never had any other beers like this, so I can't compare it to say it's good for what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, this is my first experience of it, and this is... And I do like Imperial beers. I do like porters. I do like barrel-aged beers. You mix them all together, though, and maybe I'm just not a fan. This is a really strong smelling beer, though.
All right, so you said 2.5, I said 4.5, so we're meeting in the middle at 3.5?
3.5.
All right. So 3.5 on the bourbon barrel-aged Imperial Porter from Boulevard. So Let's go ahead and mark this one. Make sure to go ahead and follow us online at Untappd_dudes and brews. Let's go ahead and get into it here, man. So I got a couple of things for you today.
I put it in the fridge. I'm going to get it colder.
You're going to get a little bit colder?
Get a little colder, see if
that might help a little bit.
Yeah.
So I got a new game for you here.
Ooh,
okay. We're going to see if you like this one. This is, I'm going to call it, let's call it Joe's Believe It or Not. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a story that I read online. And I want you to tell me if this is a real story, if you think this story was made up.
Well, you already told me you read it online, so it has to be true.
No, but this is the thing. And you'll understand what I'm getting at here in just a minute. When I say, was this made up? So, there was this girl that posted online. She posted a couple of videos online. The first one was a picture. So what she claims, she lives in Detroit, and she claims that her front porch was stolen.
The entire front porch?
The entire front porch.
Does she live in a mobile home?
You'll have to look at the picture. She does not live in a mobile home.
So she woke up, her front porch was gone.
Front porch gone. So, like, there's...
Only in Detroit would someone's front porch go missing.
But the thing is, why does somebody steal a front porch? So let's go ahead and watch this video real quick, get your reaction, and tell me, do you think this porch was really stolen, or does she just not have a porch? Okay, she doesn't have one.
Let's see. I mean...
This is for y'all who thought that my porch didn't get stolen. My porch is gone. Y'all done stole my porch.
The porch is gone.
I don't even see, like, where does the house meet the porch?
Let me see if I can find...
That looked like an old garage or something full of junk.
You go, let me see if I can find another photo here, because this was on...
She took a selfie.
This was on Instagram, or...
So she's saying, what's crazy is she's actually calling out the non-believers like you, Joe. And she said, for those out there who don't believe my front porch was stolen, here's the evidence. And you're looking at the evidence and saying, is this real or not? You're still a skeptic. I'm just thinking, who would possibly make up a story that their front porch was stolen?
Who would steal a porch, though?
Oh,
that's the real question.
Hold on.
No, so here it is right here.
Okay. Oh, I see where the house meets the...
Like, the porch is gone.
What kind of porch was it?
Like, just some stairs.
But if it was made out of metal...
No, I'm thinking like a concrete stoop.
I don't think so, dude. I think it might have been made out of metal, like metal stairs.
Maybe. I'm thinking like a concrete stoop, but either way...
Concrete, dude, there's no stealing.
Who the hell steals...
I tried to dig up the steps, so the steps to this studio,
yeah.
I'll call it. The steps to the studio are like, you can see they like are probably about 6 inches underground. So I thought, I'll dig it up, re-level the ground, and put that step there. Yeah. I dug out all around those concrete stairs, and there was no moving that thing. It was so heavy. You would have to have a pickup truck to pull that thing out.
I mean...
So for that to be concrete, I'm thinking, nah. But when I see this other picture of that metal handrail, it's making me think maybe this is a metal porch.
But look, that right there is just the metal handrail, and it's a...
handrail. Click on the picture. Let's see how it was connected to the house. It had to have been bolted into the house.
Like, I don't know if this was the... Let me see if I can find a better picture.
No, that's not the house.
Oh, here it is right here.
Look, she just wants her porch back. Look, that's a... Click on that picture and see the
That's
step.
as good as I can see. Let's see if I can zoom in on this. But yeah, nah, I don't think this is real.
Here's the thing. This is the thing right here.
Like, why would someone steal your porch? That's the question.
I'm going to tell you why.
Why would somebody do that?
The question is not why was the porch stolen. The question is,
here it is right
did she
here.
really steal it in somebody else? In Detroit, dude, people steal metal. I'm not joking. I've seen, and you can see buildings. There's parts of Detroit that are completely looking like third world country. And what people have done is they went into these old buildings and stripped out every bit of metal that's left in that building.
I mean, I know that they do it with like AC units. No. They just take the copper out of it and stuff like that.
This is like every bit of metal in the building.
It's like on a different level?
Wiring, conductor. So these steps are metal. Somebody stole these steps and they went and pawned them. Not pawned them. No, you don't pawn steps. No.
Think about it, though.
They didn't pawn them.
You own a pawn shop. Some guy's like, dude, I got something that you need.
He's like,
I know you've been waiting on these.
Come out back, see what I got in the trailer. And then he's got some steps.
He's got a porch.
They took him to the scrapyard, it's a lucrative business in Detroit. The question though is, did she do it herself or her boyfriend?
And now she's just making it.
Yeah.
She says that it was happening when she was at work. Which is like, I went to work that day, came home, Porch was gone.
Okay, so the jury's in. I'm going to say guilty. Someone stole this lady's porch.
So you're thinking, believe it or not, it's true?
Bring it back. Someone bring it back. Whoever's out there.
I think it's fake. I think she's making it up just for some momentary glimpse at fame so she can get viral for a minute. Like, that's it. I think that's all it's about.
If she made it up, then she sold that porch. She sold it. She got the money for it. She didn't pawn it. That would be weird. She took it to the scrapyard.
She pawned it. She goes, hey, keep these here. I'm going to come back for them.
Dude, we got to follow up on this case, though. We got to stay on it. We'll see.
Oh, my gosh.
Detective Joe over here is smelling something fishy.
It's really fishy. It is. That's why I don't think it's real. It doesn't make any sense to me why somebody would steal it. You're saying if it's metal, then it's for scraps.
Yeah.
But think about the work that it takes to take that apart.
It's just bolted into the concrete. That's why I was wanting to see how is it connected to the house. It's bolted, not the concrete, but the brick. It's bolted into the brick. They get in there, you know, zoop, 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 zoop. You see NASCAR, they change tires in like 10 seconds.
Okay.
They'll come in there, they'll have that porch stripped off. 10 seconds, it's gone.
Okay.
It's a two-man job.
All right. You got me not believing it still, so I don't know.
It's either a two-man job or one really desperate crackhead job. Come in and get it done in 5 minutes. Have it on his back. Put some straps on it like it's a backpack, and just
he
run it down
walks up there with
a
handheld Phillips, working at it.
Oh man, she's trying to sleep. It's like it doesn't even happen when she's at work. She's sleeping. And she's hearing. What is that sound?
He's over there real mad because he has to put all his force into it. Oh man,
it took him a week to get it done.
Happened while she was at work.
Little by little.
Yeah, right. Been working on this all month. All right, man. So I got another one for you here. So, Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, their child, Northwest,
Yep.
had a painting. She's 7. Kim posted this painting online.
Yeah.
Everybody's saying this wasn't her. I want you to tell me, do you think this 7-year-old painted this or not?
So what's funny is I saw this, and I didn't even know that was Northwest. But pull it up. I think I know which one you're talking about. I didn't know that was a celeb. I just knew that people were questioning the legitimacy of it.
Her name is Northwest. Here is her painting.
So,
Did a 7-year-old paint this, or is Kim just trying to make everybody think that her daughter's the next Rembrandt?
Normally, I would have said this isn't that complicated for a child to paint.
I mean, this looks really good to me.
It looks.
They've done a really good job.
It looks good, but it's about techniques. This isn't like they looked at something and they created a portrait of a real life thing. They have techniques to deliver this. I've seen it. They have classes at Hobby Lobby to teach you these.
I mean, isn't this the kind of stuff that old Bob Ross used to do?
Yes.
And
Look,
and what would he always say?
Happy mistakes.
Happy little mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. Like maybe that was only supposed to be one tree, and a mistake led to 2 trees.
Right. Right.
But so the techniques. This is very feasible for a child to have it done. The problem is the celebrityness of it, and their desire for attention, which is making me like, oh no, I shouldn't consider those things. But it's in the back of my mind. I'm like, maybe they had a personal painting teacher there that did some of the strokes for her.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like I'm thinking maybe she did it. But that doesn't mean that she didn't have somebody there to outline it or to help be like, oh, well, let me just show you how to do it. And then she came in and did some other parts of it.
So, like, I think about, like, I got a painting on my fridge that my daughter did a couple of years ago. It's a bowl of fruit. And it looks awesome. Well, the thing is that, like, her teacher did an outline.
Right.
And then she went and painted it. She did, like, some shading and whatnot. So, like, she had a little bit of an idea of what she was trying to paint, though. Here, I wonder, just as you kind of mentioned, I wonder if that same kind of thing happened, where like, hey, here's where these trees are going to go, here's where this mountain's going to go, I kind of outline some stuff for you. Because, I mean, I even think not only it's got texture, but it's got the lighting I think is done
the
right.
Reflection
Off the water, the lighting on the
the
trees.
light source is consistent.
Yeah, those details I think are difficult for somebody that's not experienced.
And
that's what makes me question it more than anything.
And also because the internet is bringing this up, it makes me think this is the first painting that's ever been posted by this child.
It does, which...
And knowing how proud the family is, surely they've posted some lesser quality but still good paintings that this child has done.
I'm going to see if it tells me if this was the first one. For some reason, I want to say that it is.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that there's a higher probability that lady's porch was stolen than that this kid did this painting all on her own.
It just
Love
says
Baby's
shout out.
masterpieces. Okay.
The people are saying that it wasn't even done by her.
Yeah, I think she had a lot to do with it, though. I wouldn't question the validity.
I mean, I'm not saying that she didn't get in here and paint some stuff. Yeah. I'm thinking that somebody may have gone in and touched it up to make it just that much better.
There's some expertise when it comes to the layers, the proper order of the layers, like you said, the light source, the reflection, the technique.
Yeah, there's just some stuff that I just go, that's advanced.
So much details in this that I have to say somebody helped her. So I can't say she's the artist.
So believe it or not, we're not believing it.
Not believing it.
Not believing it.
I'm not believing this is her masterpiece. I'm believing that she partnered on this masterpiece.
She had somebody else help her out with this one?
Yep.
Okay. All right, well, there you go. So it looks like I'm not believing that somebody stole that lady's porch. I'm not believing that Northwest painted this all by herself.
You need to go to Detroit. We need to do a vacation in Detroit. You go visit there, and then you might be like, you know what, that lady's porch is stolen. You'll change your tune.
Larry's believing that the porch was stolen
for some reason. I've never been to Detroit, but I've seen a lot about it, and it's not one of the nation's finest cities.
I mean, I know that there's a lot of crime. I mean, I know that, but
I mean, it's just a city that used to be huge because it had a huge industry. That car industry fell out, and now it's like an old abandoned city that's left with tons of people, not a lot of opportunities for work. It's just not one of the greatest cities, honestly. So there's a lot that went into it. I don't know the history of it. I can try to bro science it up, but a lot of that's probably going to come from 8 Mile, and I don't know if 8 Mile is the best source. So.
Oh my gosh, get out of here!
Yep.
I can't with you right now. All right, man. So we'll get into another one here. We're gonna get back to a classic. Can you get behind that? So the question is, farmers market. Can you get behind a farmers market? We don't have them right now because of the weather and things being cold, but they'll come back before we know it.
I love a farmers market.
Now, what is it that you like about a farmer's market compared to like just going to a grocery store and getting some produce?
Maybe it's just the idea of like going out. It's an outdoors. It's just kind of like a cool place to go. You get the camaraderie of speaking to people from your town that are just regular old people who are trying to make a living, selling stuff from their farm. So I like the idea of it. They're fun to go to. I've even been to the one in Dallas. And I went to the one in Dallas, which is huge, and didn't buy a single... Well, I bought some strawberries or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
But just walked around, enjoyed it.
Like, I've never been to one that's big. Is it kind of like... I'm thinking almost like a Trades Days for food.
Yeah. It is a Trades Days for food.
You go in there, you get some strawberries, some cucumbers, go ahead and get one of them turkey legs, and you're good to go.
Yep. I've been to the one at the brewery quite a few times.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
I always enjoy talking with the people. Like, they're always down-to-earth people who, like, make a lifestyle around selling vegetables or fruits.
Yeah.
So, their life revolves around talking to people about what their passion is.
Right. So. Well, I mean, we used to have a guy come into the office every 2 weeks. I want to say it was from, like, Weston Farms, maybe?
Yep, that was it.
He would always come in there every two weeks, and I always liked going in there, and I liked buying honey from him. Because it'd be fresh... like local honey. Yeah. So it's supposed to be better for your allergies and stuff because you have the local pollen. So yeah, no, I mean, I enjoyed that, but like, I think for me, it's just helping support a local business.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you didn't get behind it, I was going to call you out because you're all about the small business.
Oh, 100%.
So I was like,
I love the small businesses. Well, because like, one of the things I was thinking is, well, it's probably healthier for you because they're not mass producing it, so they're not putting in all of the hormones or pesticides and things like that. But I don't go to the farmer's market for that, or else I'd buy organic at the store.
Right.
I go, that's not the reason why I go. Why do I like a farmer's market?
Organic at the store is a bit of false advertisement a lot of times, too.
I mean, I know
they
how
just
that
throw
goes.
that on there where you know you're getting organic when you go local. But I never go there because I'm like, to your point, I never go there because I'm like, oh, I love organic food.
Right.
I just go there because I'm like, oh, cool, this is going on. Let's go get some vegetables that I normally wouldn't get. Or let's go get some vegetables that I would normally get, but then get hooked up on some big, nice, juicy-looking ones that I can hand pick.
Right.
So.
It's like, I don't know if you were volunteering that week or not. When we did it at Master Key, we all came home with zucchinis.
Probably.
These zucchinis, I'm not even lying, were like the size of like a butternut squash. I mean, huge. Massive. And I go, oh, these got to be pumped full of growth hormones. And the lady was like, no, we got them from some local farmer that just dropped them off. And I go, what?
Them zucchinis, bro.
Apparently, it seems like, and you may have some more experience with this since you've actually done a little bit of gardening.
Yeah.
Keeping things spaced apart allows them to grow bigger. Is that accurate? Or did I just make that up?
I have a small backyard, and we do like above ground beds. So I don't know. I'm not an expert.
Okay.
I'm trying to think if I've even grown zucchini.
Well, because like I'm trying to
on
do.
a branch, right? I think I might have done zucchini before.
No, I don't think it comes on a branch. I think it's in the ground still.
No. I've done zucchini.
Because
I can picture having a bunch of zucchinis in my kitchen.
Because I did some research recently because I'm going to be setting up that garden at the house.
Yeah.
And
nice.
I was looking at like what's easy to grow, what's good to grow.
It's like a vine like that.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking of a vine.
Yeah, see?
Okay.
I have done zucchinis before. So I don't know about spacing them out. They're beautiful, though. I love the leaves that they produce and the flowers.
I wonder if you can eat these leaves, too.
I didn't do that.
Throw these flowers in some beer, like some floral.
Throw it in some tea.
Well, like, I think of, like, I've had a hibiscus saison once. That was really good. With hibiscus flowers. As weird as that sounds, that was really good.
Sounds really weird.
It was
saison,
great.
I'm not a huge fan of either. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one was good, so it makes me wonder if I could throw some.
So what do you think about growing zucchinis?
I was just looking to see what's easy to grow. I want to grow everything I could use to make salsa. So I want some tomatoes, some onions or shallots, depending on which one's easier. Some jalapenos, some cilantro.
Yeah.
Like things like that. Something pretty easy. And then I was just looking to see what I could grow. Mm-hmm. Like cabbage apparently is not too hard to grow.
Cabbage is a good one. I should do that one.
Like any kind of leafy green. Because I was talking to Charlie about it. Charlie has experience doing that stuff. Mm-hmm. So I was talking to him about it. He said the onions are not too difficult to do, but you have to have a lot of space for them. Because those grow, and depending on how far apart they are, depends on how big they're going to grow.
There's a lot more things to consider, too. Which ones grow good next to each other.
And what kind of soil.
Overpower them. When you go to these local, like, what are they? Like
I'll hit up
centers,
whatever
they're called. I don't even know what you call them.
Hit up your local botanist.
Botanist, there you go. When you go to your local botanist, they're a wealth of knowledge.
Right.
And they hook you up. They help you out.
Yeah, I'm
just tell them what you got, what you're trying to do. They're like, oh, this is what you need to know. This is what you want to do.
I just really hope I'm not overwhelmed with the amount of knowledge.
It is overwhelming at first. We're like 3 or 4 years into gardening, I think.
Okay.
And we do a different little garden every year. Last year we tried to do blackberries, so I'm hoping they died. And those things were like $20.
Dude, blackberries grow and they're tiny when you get them.
Yeah, they died.
And they start out red.
We got a couple, but that wasn't.
Oh man, my buddy Devin had a blackberry bush in his front yard. At this house he was renting, and we would go out there and just pick fresh blackberries. That, and then on his pond, like right next to his pond, he has a persimmon tree. If you never had persimmons, they are awesome.
I don't know what that is.
Oh
persimmons.
Man, the kids didn't know what persimmons were either, and that's another reason why I like using the app to go through for like shopping for like food and stuff. Because you just go down the aisle and it just lists all the stuff they have in stock. And persimmons was one of them. It almost looks like a.
I feel like I had persimmons at your house. Now that we're talking about it, let me see. Oh nope, I don't know what that is.
Dude, persimmons are great.
What is it, like a tomato?
No, it's a fruit. It's kind of sweet. It has a little bit of bitterness to it, depending on how big they are. When they're real little and they're not ready to go, they're really bitter. But these are big. I mean, they're like the size of a tomato when you get them from the store. We used to get them little. Like you see this in this dude's hand. This is the way that we would pick them off the tree.
That's weird.
Pick them off the tree little and just eat them whole. Dude, they're great.
Yeah. So the blackberries, though, hopefully they come back. They didn't. I mean, dude, there's always some kind of bugs that come in and kill all your stuff. It sucks.
Yeah.
And I also want to bring it back to when you said this is a fruit, because tomatoes are a fruit too.
Yes.
Okay, because you're like,
I don't know if I was pointing that out.
Well, I said it's like a tomato, and you go, no, it's a fruit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I was. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, technically, a zucchini is a fruit.
Right.
It's got seeds.
Technically, everything's a fruit. There are no such things as vegetables except for things like
carrots,
potatoes and carrots, and beets.
Yeah, like most things have seeds.
Yeah, it has to have seeds, and it also comes from a flowery plant. Like you see how the zucchinis have a flower, that makes it fruit.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
weird.
me and the kids looked this up one day, and now Lily likes to tell everybody, "Oh no, that's actually a fruit." Okay, Lily.
Well,
come
I
on
got
now.
woke to it because I'm like, I don't even have a vegetable garden. I keep thinking I have a vegetable garden, but we just have fruit gardens. You know.
Yeah, I guess if you do like leafy greens, like some spinach or like some collard greens or something.
Something like that. It seems like it has to be like a root type vegetable or a green. Otherwise, it's a fruit. Or an herb.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, I want to build, because next to those plant boxes, there's just that little patch of land. I want to build a little chicken coop, get like 3 or 4 chickens out there too.
3 or 4. If you're gonna have a chicken coop, go big.
No, I wouldn't need it. I have 3 people in my family, and only 3 people half the time.
Yeah, you don't need that many eggs.
Like I get 4 a day. That's plenty. I don't eat 4 a day.
But you can have some chicklets. Get a rooster out there, get some chicklets, have a little, rotating thing, have some full-fledged chickens that you're selling.
I would have to look into, like, if that's allowed or not.
I'm sure
because I know that here in Sherman city limits, they have dumb rules. You can have a chicken coop, but it has to be 6 feet away from a fence.
That's weird.
That's so stupid. It's stuff like in the middle of your, and then my brother has chickens in Anna. Technically, he's not supposed to have a rooster, so they put this little collar thing on him to where he doesn't yell too loud.
Really?
Yeah.
It chokes him?
No, I don't know.
Is it like a?
I don't know what it does.
Ring that they just stretch out and put around the head?
I don't know what that is.
You know what a quail ring? Like these little rubber rings.
Oh no, I don't know what it is. It's a look. I'll see if I can find a rooster collar.
They just get the biggest size quail ring and then stretch it out.
I'll get out of here. No, it's a real thing.
Well. You crack me up with the stuff you search. Rooster collar.
I can't type, obviously.
Yep. Rooster collar.
It's a no-crow rooster collar.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. I didn't even know that was a thing. It's like a bark collar.
I guess the way it sits on them, it makes it to where they don't, crow very loud. It doesn't hurt them at all.
That's a good idea because, man, roosters crowing all morning.
Well, because they're not supposed to have roosters over there, and I think they're limited. I think the city limits them to 6 chickens within the city limits, and they live in Anna. So I wonder what the rules are in Denison. I need to look it up, but I was thinking 3 or 4 would be fine. If I wanted to kill one, cool, kill one. Just go buy another a little chicken. Chickens are cheap.
Yeah.
You buy them for a couple $. If I really wanted to eat one, but I figured I'd just use it for eggs. Yeah. Use it for eggs. Let them run around, take care of insects and stuff. Let them eat grasshoppers and spiders and stuff.
Have you ever plucked a chicken?
I've never done it. The only time, my uncle had chickens, and I was real young. They were babysitting me. I remember being over there at their house, and he cut its head off. It ran around for a minute. Laid down, and then he skinned it because he said it was too much of a pain in the ass to pluck it.
I've seen, because my father-in-law bought this thing. I've never seen him use it.
Oh, it's like a machine?
It's like a funnel, and then it spins the chicken in there. I don't know. I never seen him use it. He explained it to me one day, like a chicken plucker Yeah, let's see.
Like one of these things?
Yeah.
That looks like a washing machine.
A little bit more ghetto, though.
That was like a washing machine right there.
Like that fourth one. See, it looked like a funnel.
Like this?
Restraining cones? That restrains it, though. That doesn't really pluck it. It looked like that, but look at that yard plucker with the water. I don't know, dude. That's the only thing that would... Because I wouldn't be against killing a chicken and eating it, but it seems like that is a lot of work. Skinning it, though? That's weird. Skinning a chicken with all its feathers?
Well, just think about it. I mean, when it's done, you've had skinless chicken. Like skinless chicken breast?
The best part.
I don't know. It depends on what you're making. I mean, if I'm doing like stir fry, I don't do skin.
What does that gun do? See that gun?
This looks like it would hurt somebody.
Yeah, like how does that...
You like hold it and then just like slap the shit out of it?
I think that's what he was saying. Like the machine that he had, that restrainer just holds the chicken in place.
And then he gets like and puts it on a gun and just slaps the crap out of it.
Smacking it.
Well, because this looks like a. Okay, so this right here looks like a washing machine. So the chicken's dead. You gut it. You throw it in there with all of its feathers, and you just turn it on, and it just flops around in there, and you eventually...
like a rock tumbler.
Yeah. And you just pull out the chicken, and you pick off a couple of feathers.
Rock tumbler with knobs.
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like.
Okay. Not too bad.
It's so stupid,
That's not too bad. But you're going to have to invest in all this if you ever do decide to.
Well, those were $500, no thanks.
But man, a fresh chicken, though. Ooh. Man.
With no hormones, you're going to realize how little those things really are.
Yeah, I know. Get yourself a little smoke a little hitter right there.
What'd you get? Is that one of those Cornish game hens? Oh, no, this is a full-fledged chicken. What? Oh, yeah, it just doesn't have them breast implants.
No, this is Betty. She lived with us for 3
See,
years.
and that's the thing, is that my brother and their kids, they name them. Which makes you go that, yeah, you're definitely not killing them now.
You can't name it.
No, you don't name it. You just leave it, and you go get eggs if you want eggs. But if they die, they die. Because it's really, winters are rough on them. Winters are real rough on them.
Oh, dude, I had chickens growing up. Everything's rough on them. The heat, the summer's rough on them.
Yeah.
I mean, going out there to feed them is rough on them. You step on them. You know what I mean? Seriously, they die from everything.
Like you're over here like freaking Iron Giant, like not knowing what's going on and just crushing things as you're stumbling through.
One time, I'm not even joking, because I used to have to clean the chicken pen. It was awful. And we had this log, and it was like, it had like wood cross beams on both sides to be like a little perch for them to sit on.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I was going to clean out the pen, so I had to move that log, and it slipped out of my hand. I dropped it on the chicken. I'm like, another one dead. Like, they would die so easily. When you have a bunch of them, they just die.
I don't remember I was dying.
Well, they would get sick. Like, once one gets sick, they spread.
Oh, yeah.
Or the heat. We had to have, like, you know, at Six Flags, you go through the misters?
Yeah.
We had misters in our cage.
Oh,
like,
what? No, we didn't have that.
Next level. Like, they're at a theme park. They're getting, you know, some cold water blown in their face.
Nah, I wasn't about that.
Yeah, dude. So.
Man. Well, bro, you want to get into another beer?
All right, let's do another one. So, I'm actually thinking we should swerve a little bit and go with the lighter beer.
Okay.
Because I was thinking dark at first because it's so cold outside, but that last one was so dark.
And it hits you really hard?
It did hit me. It hit me in a couple different areas.
I'll just drink the other one out of the can. It's whatever.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to pour mine in the glass.
Okay.
But you can have the can.
So we can only see it. I mean, we need to get some more of these cups.
Alright, so we're going to do the Beer Mosa from our brothers over at 903.
Staying local. Hey, I don't mind it. I like these guys over 903.
Yep, and this isn't your normal beer. Because a normal beer does not taste like a mimosa. Makes sense?
Well, yeah. I mean, so a mimosa it's orange juice, or traditionally orange juice and like champagne or like a sparkling white wine, right?
Well, for one, when you said normally, I thought it was always orange juice. And then when you said sparkling white wine, I never thought that was in question. I always thought it was orange juice and champagne. That's a mimosa.
Well, from what I understand, most things that Americans call champagne is actually a sparkling white wine.
Wow, now that you bring that up.
I want to say that champagne's only from like Champagne, like the city of Champagne and like wherever that's located at.
Dude, you're blowing my mind right now. I'm not a big wine person. I'm not against wine, but I'm just not the biggest wine person. But champagne to me just tastes like carbonated wine. So is it just carbonated wine unless you go to Champagne, wherever Champagne is at Germany?
That's what I understand. Now, I could be completely wrong.
Yeah, you're like, I could have made this up. You could have stole that lady's porch, too.
I did, actually. You didn't know that. I was trying to keep you guys out of there. But yeah, so the reason why I say traditionally, why I preface that is because this one here specifically is a pineapple beer mimosa. So I was thinking that you could do a mimosa with pineapple juice and champagne instead of orange juice, do pineapple juice.
Oh, good point.
That's just what was going through my mind.
This isn't just a regular beer mosa, because at 903 they do have a beer mosa, and this is the second iteration of it, which is the pineapple beer mosa.
Yep. Ooh, this one's listed as a milkshake IPA on Untappd.
Yep. I was wondering if it was, because okay, so let me go ahead and read it for those viewers out there.
Yeah.
So pineapple beer mosa, fruited Indian Pale Ale. So it's an IPA, fruited. Please read, this beer is packed with fruit, much more than we've ever put into a beer, and must be cared for unlike any other beers. So you know if it's got a warning label on it, there's something good that's going to happen.
I bet you just got to keep it cold.
Yep. Rule number 1, keep this beer cold, ! Rule 2, turn over once before serving to redistribute the settled fruit. Forgot to do that.
I didn't do that.
Yeah, I didn't do it either.
Oh well.
Oh well, I turned it over when it went into the glass.
Okay.
There you go. So mine is well distributed. Yours is going to be all fruity at the bottom.
Oh no.
3, drink
I
fresh.
Stir it.
So this one's pretty fresh. I got this beer maybe a few weeks ago. And then 4, enjoy and repeat. It pairs well with pepperoni pizza, French fries, and brunch.
No way.
Yep.
Pairs well with brunch.
And it is orange and pineapple IPA. Keep cold, drink fresh. So what are your initial thoughts?
This one's better than the other beer mosa.
Dude, it is. When you look at it in the light, you can see
all the floaties.
Fruit in there. It's got some Cody floaties.
I don't know why it's funny the way you say it. It's got them Cody floaties. So this one is, I like this one better because the pineapple gives it a tropical feel. It's not as pungent as a normal IPA is. It's very subtle on the bitterness from the hops, which gives this a higher drinkability compared to a normal IPA. But I wonder, and we can look this up here in a minute, but I wonder if they use specific hops to kind of accent the orange juice and the pineapple.
That's a good question.
Do they use Azeka and Mosaic hops? Do they use Citra hops? Because if so, I wonder what this beer would taste like if they just didn't put the juice in it and just brewed an IPA.
Very good point. Also, that pineapple is strong.
It is. It comes to a lot for.
I feel like is more overpowering than the other beer mosa. I've only had the other beer mosa once. I think it was even just a sample at the brewery. But that pineapple, it makes it taste very fruity. It almost doesn't taste like a beer. It almost tastes just like a mimosa. I
mean, you get a little bit of the bitterness of the hops on the back end. But, yeah, I mean, if you just gave this to me and said, hey, here you go, here's something to drink, I wouldn't have said, oh, thanks for the beer, man.
Yeah, I would have been like, cool, what winery did you get this from?
Yeah.
You get this from Champagne or something? Champagne, Germany?
You know what? We need to look this up now that you're saying this.
Yeah, I would have just been like, okay, you're going to look for champagne wine. Okay. And while you're doing that, I'm going to just plain look up where it was champagne.
Those lovely little glasses of breakfast-appropriate alcohol are generally made with champagne. It's a sparkling white wine, but it's not just any sparkling white wine. Champagne is champagne because it comes from Champagne, France.
Okay, that answers all of our questions. So, are you saying that if I have champagne that comes from America, it is just sparkling wine?
It's just a sparkling white wine.
Trapdoor spider. I call it bait and switch right there, dude.
The classic. Hey.
Classic, man. Well, it's kind of weird to call it like champagne now. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you're going to call it a sparkling white wine?
Sparkling wine reminds me of like, what's that? Martinelli? Have you ever seen Martinelli?
I mean, the name sounds familiar, but I don't drink wine.
I mean, I don't even drink that much wine. This is non-alcoholic. It's just a sparkling grape drink called Martinelli.
I've seen like Welch's does sparkling grape drink.
It's kind of like Welch's, but it's like the upper class.
Oh, okay.
And it's like what they give kids, like, it's New Year's.
For like New Year's for kids, yeah.
New Year's, kids, get your Martinelli.
Oh, okay.
And I think maybe it's just a little Italian kids that drink it. Could be making all this up. But, so my theory is Italian kids, New Year's, drinking Martinellis. That's what I would think of with sparkling white wine. It dumbs it down. So I see why they call it champagne, because it keeps it that high class, next level beverage of choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of that. Yeah, puts it in a different class. So with this one here, it is coming in at 5%. A little bit lower APV for an IPA. I was expecting like 6 or 7%.
With all that fruit?
No, just in general for an IPA.
If you're going to put that much juice in there, I don't see how it even stays at 5%. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seems like they did kind of balanced it, so it probably was a stronger IPA.
Yeah, I really want to just taste the IPA.
Did you find the hops?
It didn't have it here on Untappd. They didn't have any description at all. So what I'm hearing is 903 got lazy when they put this into Untappd. They didn't even put the information that's on their can.
So the brewery puts it into Untappd? It's not user-driven like Wikipedia?
I put it into Untappd whenever I put in ours, but I assume the breweries do it.
I feel like it's kind of a rock star move. Like, I don't put it into Untappd. My fans do.
I mean, that would be a rock star move for sure. That's the definition of a rock star move, buddy.
Yeah, that is.
I'm too cool to put it in there myself.
So let's see what we got going on here. And by the way, when we put things in Untappd, why don't we ever take pictures and put pictures in there?
I don't know, because we do it live and I just don't post pictures. Take pictures with my phone and then don't ever send them in. I don't know.
I feel like it could just be cropped out of an episode.
You know I mean, I could. It just takes time.
And then just seems like something that could go on Untappd.
Yeah, I mean, I take pictures of all the beers. So you'll see it on social media. Like if you go onto our Instagram, you see that I always post a picture of the beer that I take a picture of. But I don't always post it onto Untappd because typically I have to have the picture available in order to put it on Untappd when I check in. And I don't like going back and checking in again. So do you know what Untappd is actually used for, right?
What?
It's not just to rank beers. It's like social media for beer. So it's like, hey, me and you could become friends on Untappd, and you can see the kind of beers that I drink. And you can see the kind of places that I visit. Because you can also check in at bars. You can check in what kind of glass you're drinking the beer out of. There's all kinds of things that you can put on here. And what a lot of people do is they rate beer every time they drink something. Mm-hmm. We only rate beer on the show. We don't rate it every time we drink beer off the show. And we've only done unique beers. We've never done the same beer twice.
Right.
So what people will do is they'll say, like, let's just say, like, for instance, I used to drink Shiner a lot. Like Shiner Bock. That used to be all you used to drink.
Right.
So every time I drank a Shiner, I would go on in here and rate it. And depending on my mood, depends on what I would rate it as.
Really?
So you'd go in and you go, as an average, do I really like Shiner or do I not?
Whoa, my mind is blown.
Versus just being in the moment.
Because I know what you mean. Like right now, you were kind of, I could tell you were a little discouraged when I rated this bourbon.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. But if I drink this tomorrow, I may think totally different.
I might drink this a year from now and love it. So, okay, that makes sense.
So what they do is a lot of people will go in and rate the same beer a bunch because that's what they drink. And then they go in and look at it and go, cool, on average, this is what my real score is because I've accumulated enough, like, of an experiment, if you will, like enough ratings to actually give myself something rather than just being in the moment, which is what we always do, in the moment. Yeah. Which, I mean, I think eventually we can go back and drink some of the other beers to see if we still have the same thought, but for now...
Dude,
we're just
that would
drinking
even
the
be a
beers we
fun
can.
thing to do. Like, go back and relive some of our highest rated or lowest rated beers and see if we can give them a second chance, like a second chance show.
A second chance show would be a good idea.
Yeah, for some of those that...
Still got some of them second chance beers in the fridge.
Dude, that's not a good look. If you still have them, then that means you never went back to them.
Well, yeah.
So that's like, maybe we shouldn't give them a second chance. You've looked at them every day and been like, nah, I can't.
Right.
So let's talk about the appearance here. I like the idea that because it's a fruit beer, it's thick, and you can see that fruit floating in there. It's got a good color to it, man. It reminds me of straight pineapple drink. Like, I feel like a pineapple punch or something.
It makes me think of like one of those. I mean, I almost said like trash can punch, but it's like pineapple juice vodka.
Right. Yeah. It's just because it's so fruity. The head and the head retention. I don't know like what the expected head retention is, but like
I didn't see any on yours.
When I poured it out at first, there was a lot of head on it, but look how it like all of that fruit keeps.
Yeah, it just stayed on top.
It just keeps the. I don't know. I guess that's just fruit. Yeah, that's just sediment. It's not a lot of retention, but it still is carbonated. When you move it around, you can still see good carbonation to it.
Right.
That flavor is very pineapple-y, very fruity. I know you're all about the mouthfeel, so tell me what you're feeling whenever you're swishing it around.
It's got a thick mouthfeel, which is a little bit different than what I'm used to with an IPA, but that's just because of the fruit. I'm not turned off by it by any means. I think it's really good on the palate. It's subtle, like I said, on the bitterness, heavy on the fruit. It's not too sweet. I think they use the right kind of fruits that aren't too sweet. Like it gives it kind of a little bit of a tartness with the pineapple, but not too bad. It kind of balances out really well. It does kind of taste like a juice rather than a beer.
It does.
Which weirds me out.
Yeah. So let's look at this color scale right here. Maybe we should like have this color scale as something.
Okay, what is that?
It's a colored scale from craftbeeracademy.com. It seems like it's appropriate to kind of like call out this scale, because I think maybe when we're on camera it doesn't do it justice, but maybe if you could pull up this kind of scale.
Is this?
Yeah, let's just let our viewers know like where it falls on the color.
So if we look at this one has 40 different colors.
I think it's going to be like a 6 or a 7.
No, I'm just asking, is that the same scale?
Yeah, it's the same. It looks identical. Yeah.
Okay. So on this one here, I'm thinking like a 5 or a 6 maybe.
Yeah. It's hard to tell because there's so much fruit floating around in there. It's not like just settling to let you see the actual color of the beer. But when you look at the top right there, you see that light color. It's actually a really light color.
That's why I was saying like a
probably
4.
More than 3 or 4, yeah.
Yeah, I would give it a 4. Yeah, because you can see the fruit in the middle of that thing.
I know. That thick.
It's like
thick.
that thick. Get out of here.
It's that thick fruit right in the middle.
Oh man.
It's tasty. All right.
So what are you giving this one?
So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, Joe. I can tell by your attitude towards this one, you're gonna rate this one probably a 3.
I was thinking more like a 3.25 actually. Okay. A little bit higher than that.
I can tell. I'm feeling that 3.25 energy. Like maybe you're not too fruity on this.
I'm like it's good, but like don't get me wrong. And I could drink this in the summertime. I would have no problem with it.
Hops.
Yeah, I'd like a little bit more hop.
And that's why you're like, dude, dump the pineapple. Give me the IPA.
No, I'm just curious to know like if I'm still gonna get that same kind of vibe.
Yeah. From
the hops that they use.
I'm going to go 3.75 on this one.
Okay. So we'll meet in the middle at 3.5.
3.5. If I was floating the Guadalupe in San Antonio, this would be the beer of my choice.
I'm down. I'm
out in the hot sun. Oh, man. Fruit.
See, this is not a bad idea. And honestly, I would probably, if you had one, I'd ask you for one.
Yeah.
100%. For some reason, when it does get hot, and maybe it's because these aren't as popular, but for some reason, when it's hot, I like to go to a good Goza or a sour. I don't know why.
I used to until I started putting on some weight and heartburn started.
Oh no, no!
Dude, I loved sours. When they first came out, when they first were booming, I loved sours.
Yeah.
But now they just give me such bad heartburn.
Oh
I
no.
feel like I'm drinking sweet and sour mix that you would use to make a margarita.
Yeah.
Like, no, I can't drink margarita mix.
Not happening,
Give me
bro.
the tequila straight up. Can't do it.
Oh no. Okay. All right, I can see that, I guess.
I like it though. Give me a sample of a sour, and I'll be like, that's tasty.
Yeah, for some reason during the summertime it's sours, and then during the wintertime, a good stout
Mm-hmm.
is those kind of things hit. Yeah, they just do me just right. I don't know.
Yeah.
But all right, man, you want to play one more game here?
Yep. What else you got?
All right. So we'll get into it here. We'll try this and see. We've done this before. We're gonna try this again. We'll do top to bottom. Okay. So we're gonna rank Rage Against the Machine albums. So first off, I already know you're a fan of Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah. I like
Tell the
it.
listeners how much you like Rage Against the Machine.
All right, so I love Rage Against the Machine. I love Tom Morello. I love music that comes on the scene and it sets a certain mood and a certain message. And Rage Against the Machine, they are in a market of their own. They get you going. They get you pumped up. They somehow bring funk into rock and roll. They bring the most funk ever, and that's what Tom Morello brings, that heat. But then they have a little bit of that rap with Zach De La Rocha. So I love Rage Against the Machine. It's not my everyday music I listen to, but if one of their songs comes on, I'm loving it. I'm like glad it came on.
Okay.
So yeah, this will be a fun one.
So they weren't around for crazy long.
Nope.
Didn't put out crazy amount of albums. They only put out 4 full-length albums. So they got their self-titled album, Rage Against the Machine. This had the famous Monk on Fire.
Yep.
Okay.
Who set himself on fire.
He did. And he was so disciplined, he just sat there and burned. This was for some sort of protest, wasn't it? Was it protest of the Vietnam War?
It's been so long since I've even looked into what that was. I don't remember. But I remember he set himself on fire.
Yeah, I remember that too. I want to say it was for the Vietnam War.
All right. So we need to also, I need to know the song.
So the monk was protesting some president administration for oppressing the Buddhist religion.
Yeah, so when Vietnam War.
Well, I don't know why I was thinking it was around that time, but the photograph drew international attention and persuaded U.S. President JFK to withdraw support from Dim's government.
Dim's?
Dim's, D-I-E-M apostrophe S, and that's not even an E. I don't know what that letter is.
Oh, I don't know what that is either. But yeah, that did happen to be, No, JFK wasn't around Vietnam.
No.
No, that wasn't.
No. I don't know why I was thinking that, but
no.
If we get into this album, this is their self-titled album. This has Bomb Track, Killing in the Name of, Take the Power Back, Bullet in the Head, Know Your Enemy. There's a lot of good songs. To me, this is one of their top albums. But we've also got The Evil Empire. It's the famous kid with the E.
First of all, what is up with that kid? I love that album cover, but what's the history behind that one?
I'm not sure. Well, let's see here.
No.
The title, Evil Empire, is taken from what Rage Against the Machine sees as Ronald Reagan's slander of the Soviet Union in the 80s, which is the band feels could just as easily apply to the United States.
Ooh.
Rage is currently finishing up a European tour. Oh, this is an interview. So,
yeah, that's interesting. So, I'm interested now in what Ronald Reagan said.
But so this one had People to Sun,
This is what people say.
Bulls on Parade,
Revolver.
Vietnam was really good.
Man,
Year of the
this is
Boomerang
hard.
was good.
I feel like those two albums should be one album.
We got the Battle of Los Angeles came out in 1999. Has the what I call the Fist of Anger. I say that because of the album of Metallica, Saint Anger. I always call it the Fist of Anger. But anyway, It has the outline of that guy's Battle of Los Angeles. This has Testify, Guerrilla Radio, Calm Like a Bomb, Sleep Now in the Fire.
Dang.
Has Voices of the Voiceless. This one's actually a pretty good album too.
Dude,
And
I
then
don't know if I can rate these.
possibly one of my favorites. I'm not sure. We'll have to think about it. But Renegades.
What's funny is this was going to be my number one album, but this is all cover songs.
It's all cover songs.
But it's my favorite album.
And it's so good.
It is, dude. But those other albums.
Come on, Renegades of Funk.
One album, dude. They should be all rage.
I mean, think about it. This one's got Renegades of Funk. How can I just kill a man?
How I could just kill a man.
Tell me something you can't understand.
Yeah, that's
How I can just kill a man.
That's Cypress Hill, huh?
It is, yeah.
Yep.
But the thing is, like, the ghost of Tom Joad's on this one, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
Have you ever heard the original by Bruce Springsteen?
Nope.
It's god awful. It is so. It's real
man.
slow.
Oh, I bet.
Real slow.
Even Maggie's Farm. I ain't gonna work on Maggie's Farm no more.
Dude, it's so good. Dude, it's a Bob Dylan song.
Oh, dude, I know. I've never heard the originals. I just know that they're all covers.
Dude, and like Renegades of Funk,
Yeah.
you should listen to this original. It's completely different. It's done by like some reggae, like African reggae tribe kind of band.
Yeah, dude, we should go back and just listen to all the originals.
All the originals, yeah.
Yeah. These are even Street Fight Man. Street Fight Man. I love all the songs on here.
So, we got to rank them top to bottom. Or I guess you should say bottom to top, however you want to do it. We'll do the, which one comes number 4 for you? So
Man.
I'll go ahead and start.
Yeah, you start, man. This is hard.
As much as I like the singles from it, I've got to put Renegades at number 4 just because I don't think it hit as hard throughout the entire album. Now, granted, that's because I don't know that I listened to the entire album maybe as much as you had.
Uh-huh.
Some of the songs that you were mentioning, I don't know that I've heard in a long, long time.
But what's funny is a lot of them I like because they're just so funny. I'm just like, what is this?
Yeah.
It was just so out of left field.
Well, I mean, it said something about, maybe it's the art is parody. What did it say? Oh, the album's cover art is a parody of the pop artwork.
The park in Philly. The Love Park in Philadelphia.
I never realized that's what it was. But
I just know it because it's a huge skateboard park.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Well, it's not a skateboard park. What it is, it's a famous park in Philadelphia that skateboarders took over, but nowadays they've completely banned skateboarders from it.
Oh, okay.
And the X Games, even one year, the X Games had X Games in Philadelphia, and they let them go to that Love Park and skate it up.
Oh, that's cool.
So it was cool because it's like a place that's banned, and it's a historical, all skateboarders know about this famous park in Philly. And it's not like they had tons of stuff there, just tons of concrete benches to grind.
Oh, yeah.
But, when you're in the hood of Philly and you go skateboard, everybody goes to the place.
I mean, think about it. That's where street skating started. It
Exactly.
was on the
That
street.
was the spot, yeah.
On the street.
So it's a
ledges,
famous spot.
benches, rails,
Yeah,
anything
it's
you
even
could.
in one of the Tony Hawk games.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's one of the levels that you go to. So yeah, Love Park for sure.
But yeah, so for me, Renegades comes in at number 4. Not to say that it's not good.
They're all good, dude. This is the hardest list, honestly.
Like, it's good.
When you start showing me the songs, like I didn't even realize that the songs were dispersed across those albums like that. It's almost like I thought they were all on one.
Right.
So
what comes
Okay.
in at number 4 for you?
So for me, go to that Battle of Los Angeles. I feel like this is going to be the one for me. I do like Testify, I like Guerrilla Radio. I like Calm Like a Bomb. I like Sleep Now in the Fire. But those are all singles.
Mic Check's pretty good.
Mic Check's good.
Voice of the Voiceless is fun.
But I feel like I only like the singles from this album, so this is going to be my number 4.
So it's funny because I was going to put this at number 3. And I was going to do it for basically the same reason.
Yeah.
Testify, Guerrilla Radio, Calm Like a Bomb. They all hit really hard. Sleep Now on Your Fire. But outside of that, the other songs are good. Like, don't get me wrong, but they don't just hit quite as hard as some of the songs from the other albums. So what do you got at number 3?
I think number 3, I'm going to have to go with... So go to the Rage Against the Machine, the original album.
Self-titled here.
Self-titled. Just another bomb track. I mean, even...
Seconds I think that they
Know
can
Your
fake
Enemy.
this. No, you're winning me.
Know Your Enemy. I like those songs. I love Know Your Enemy. I love Bomb Track. I like Killing.
Freedom!
Yeah. I like those songs. This is going to be my number 3.
This is number 3. Oh, man. I'm telling you, when it goes, it drops down kind of slow and Maynard comes in on Know Your Enemy.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so good.
So sick of complacent, man. And he's like, sick of you.
Time yes.
Come to go. And he goes forever. And then it just like it just stopped playing music and it's just Maynard hitting that note forever.
So and good.
Have you ever seen the the old Woodstock footage of them playing that together?
I don't think I have, no.
Yeah. They play that live together.
Is it on YouTube?
Maybe.
I'll see if I can find it after this.
He's just classic old weird Maynard dude.
Is it that same...
Comes in shirtless.
Is it that same time where he sung... There's a famous video that I've seen on YouTube where like a classically trained singer does a reaction video to him doing sober.
I've seen that one.
Isn't he like shirtless with a mohawk in that one too?
It might have been the same show. Now that you said that, because I've seen that reaction video and where she's like an English lady.
Yeah, and she's like, he's doing it with no effort.
Yeah.
And it does look effortless.
It had to have been the same show. Because he was shirtless and he did have that same mohawk.
And it was at a festival, it looked like.
He was equally awkward. He's always awkward, but he was really awkward.
So you're putting the Battle of Lost, or you're putting the self-titled Rage Against the Machine album at number 3.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what do you got? So for number 2...
Wait, what do you have? Do you have number 4 and 3 so far?
Yeah, so number 4 for me is Renegades. Number 3 goes Battle of Los Angeles.
Okay.
Yours went Battle of Los Angeles, Rage Against the Machine. What do you got at number 2?
Evil Empire.
So you are putting Renegades.
I'm going to do Renegades number 1.
Okay.
That's just self-preference. I love that Renegades album.
I'm going to go with Evil Empire at number 2 as well. I'm actually going to put the self-titled album at number 1. So just as it was written, like...
Oh, yeah, you did do that.
From order of when they came out to now, it just happened that way. Didn't do that on purpose, but that's the way they go. For me,
order of operations.
Basically,
like
yeah.
A classic Rage fan who would say like the oldest is the best.
I mean,
like real music fans would be like,
right,
stuff is the best stuff.
Dude, I'm telling you, this self-titled album, every song, Take the Power Back, Bullet in the Head is probably my favorite song by them. My favorite song of all time.
I can't even remember how it goes. We're at the.
You ready? Dum, 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 dum. This time the bullet could rock ya.
Oh, yeah.
A yellow ribbon instead of a swastika. Nothing to pop about your propaganda. Yeah, dude, it's ooh, said the fools with the set command ya. Said it was blue when your blood was red. That's how I got a bullet blasted through your head. Sorry, I can do that.
Yes,
but it's talking about like, he says, he talks about cellular phone, counting a death tone. Corporations call you to stone before you realize. It's talking about like, what did they used to call it? Like subliminal advertising and like the media like controlling your mind and things. And I go, dude, I see that today. That is relevant to today.
Yeah. What's crazy about Rage Against the Machine is they have a liberal stance, but it's an early on liberal stance that kind of stands with the test of time to say like, wait, this is kind of a conservative stance now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's a turn.
Well, there's certain things that like I said, the media kind of trying to control you and stuff.
Yeah, media.
I agree with that. Like
even government
and
them
being like anti-war. Like I go, there's certain times where I go, you know what? We might need to stop war at this time.
Well, that's what I mean. Like their anti-war stance is very like
very liberal.
On the level, it seems, the surface level, it seems liberal because they even like broke up. Because like President George Bush was elected, they're like, I think if I remember right.
Oh, I don't know
Zach De La Rocha left the band because he said if George Bush gets elected again, I'm leaving. But when we see the way that everything's going nowadays, like the stuff that they're standing against with media, with advertising, with corporations, with government control,
I would love to see them put out an album now with what's going on in the United States.
Me too. I want to see them
like,
come back.
Bring back Rock the Vote.
Me too. Because I feel like it's going to be it's a conservative stance now.
I mean, it may be, and you know what? I may disagree.
Like on extreme.
I may disagree with everything they say, but I'm imagining I would enjoy the music.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Everything that they say is it's crazy. But yeah, even like when you think about what's the System of a Down?
Oh yeah,
like they have very similar values when it comes to like same things like.
Oh, because didn't they do? Didn't they have one about like TV and what was it? TV radio or what do they call it? What was it called?
I don't remember what it was called, but I know the song you're talking about. It's on that Hypnotized Mesmerized album.
Yeah.
But yeah,
is it not that
stuff.
everybody look at how everybody sucks?
Yeah.
I want to say that's what it was.
But
no, because that's violent pornography.
Yeah, that is.
Dang, what am I thinking of though?
I know what you're talking about.
Anyway,
it's the
sorry.
Same stuff, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's just like the stuff that you're being fed is just crap.
Right.
And that's what their songs are all about.
Think for yourself.
And I love that when we started looking back and they're talking about what the Ronald Reagan album was about. Was that Ronald Reagan, the pot calling kettle black?
Yeah. Oh,
you know
yeah.
What I mean? It's like, sure, on the surface this looks great, and that's where it's like really risky to like go in and like it's great to be proud of where you're from and so forth, but you can't put stuff on pedestal when you don't know everything that's going on.
Right.
There's true evils in this world, and when you really just put things on pedestal and say this is what must be good, you have to remember that there's a lot of evil in this world, and there's a lot of motives that are going on behind the scenes, and it's not always what it seems like on the surface. And I think that's what the Rage Against the Machine stood for.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you, man. And with that, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. So I appreciate everybody tuning in and listening to us. Make sure to go online to both Instagram and Untappd and follow us at _Dudes and Brews. But we're out of here.
Peace.
We appreciate you guys tuning in for another episode of Dudes and Brews. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever platform you're on, we're on there. We have a YouTube channel, Dudes and Brews. We would love if you would subscribe there as well. If you are subscribed and you want to help us out just a little more, unsubscribe and resubscribe again. It sounds funny and stupid and kind of obnoxious, all of the subscribing and resubscribing and stuff, but it helps in these little algorithms games for like climbing the charts, because again, we are organic and we are where we are because of you guys.
Yeah, we really do appreciate your support. Shout us out. We really do love it when you guys interact with us, when you add us, mention us, put us on your stories, tag us, all that fun stuff, all the stuff the kids are doing. We like grabbing that stuff and we put it up for you guys. So we appreciate you so much. Keep having fun, drinking them brews, hanging with them dudes. Tune in next week for another episode of Dudes and Brews.